Debunking false claims about Kamala Harris. Vice President Kamala Harris is positioning herself to be the Democratic Party's nominee for president after Joe Biden dropped out of the race. Since then, a number of claims have been made about Harris, including a recent Instagram post that made claims about her childhood, ethnicity, and record as California Attorney General. The post starts with a claim that Harris was raised in Canada, not California, but this misrepresents what happened. Harris was born in Oakland and spent most of her childhood in the US before moving to Quebec at age 12 and staying there through high school. She then returned to the US to attend Howard University in Washington, D.C., and later the University of California. The post also claims that Harris is not African American. This is false. Harris has long identified as Black, and her self-identification aligns with federal guidelines. The guidelines describe Black or African American people as those with origin in any of the Black racial groups of Africa. Jamaica is included on a list that is part of that definition. Jamaica's population predominantly consists of the descendants of African slaves brought to work on its sugar estates. The post also claims that as Attorney General, Harris imprisoned over 2,000 Black people for minor drug charges and held them past their release date for labor resources. This claim stems from an argument made by lawyers in Harris's office, but again misrepresents what happened. While Harris was California's AG in 2014, attorneys representing inmates argued the state was slow to comply with a court order that said non-violent repeat offenders were to be eligible for parole after serving half their sentence. It was an initiative to reduce overcrowding. Attorneys for Harris countered that allowing so many offenders out of prison would hurt their labor programs, specifically one that allowed certain prisoners to fight wildfires. But in an interview with BuzzFeed News, Harris said she was shocked to hear the lawyer's argument, and a spokesman later said Harris directed the department's attorney not to make that argument again. Another post comes from Donald Trump Jr., who blamed Harris for the country's immigration problems. The post specifically claims Harris was put in charge of the border, similar to many past assertions that Harris is the border czar. But this is also false, as it exaggerates her actual role. Biden tasked Harris with addressing the root causes of migration in Central America, specifically in El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras, where gang violence, trafficking networks, and economic insecurity have caused people to flee. She wasn't in charge of securing or managing the border. That responsibility lies with the Secretary of Homeland Security.